Hi, welcome. Today we'll be discussing the latest jpegmafia album, Experimental Rap. Okay, I don't like it. I'll be honest, I don't really like it. And I think a lot of other people can agree with me on this that listen to him on or used to listen to him on a regular basis, and that is his rapping. I'm not here to dictate like how one should rap, but I think considering that this is probably just like a lesser version of I Laid Down My Life for You, which on its own I didn't like as much, but I could say was a more solid project. This feels like a bit of a copy in a way. The production on it is fine. I do like some of the tracks. It's experimental, but not in the same way that Veteran or MHAC was experimental. And I feel like those albums were definitely pushed what was considered, I guess, groundbreaking at the time, whatever you want to call it. Like, I'll be completely honest, when he put out Baby Girl, the initial release, I thought I like the sample. It's a little bit generic, a bit of a sample loop, but I was like, okay, we'll roll with it. War Over Land, I thought that was fine. I didn't really care for it, to be honest. Then Yen dropped. Yen was a really, I liked that sample, especially the that one. That single seemed to stick with me and gave me high hopes for the album. But I ended up being disappointed. I'm not necessarily naive to the tactics that he uses to garner traction. Outrage tends to attract you the most because it's a stronger emotion, and therefore, if you do more blasphemous actions, more people are going to be looking. And that's why you always see this dude in beef. I mean, listen, he's been with Kanye. He made statements about Kanye. And I guess it's his shtick to attract profit. But as a fan who's been following him since the Scaring the Hose era, I think personally that he's kind of grown into like a cornball. And intentionally or not, I just feel rather disappointed with his behavior. I've seen a couple examples of this phenomena, but just for clarification, I do not speak on behalf of the hip-hop or black community. These opinions are just solely my own, but I noticed that when artists make controversial statements earlier in their career, it tends to be more impactful. With Tyler the Creator, obviously his earlier projects were rather, the earlier projects were edgy. Anybody that knows Tyler the Creator knows this. But anyway, and as much as I hate to say this, it really was products of their time. This was a time before cancel culture was really I don't know why I said it like that. People on social networking platforms didn't have the influence to call out these established artists. And yeah, I don't know. The culture was so different. Internet, Wild West, whatever you want to call it. I'd say that, and also because the topics that they rapped about felt more down to earth. And that's not to say that... Hi, Editing Evelyn here. I realized that I phrased the sentence really dumb. I think it's perfectly normal and valid to rap and storytell about your experiences if you grew up poor. What I'm trying to communicate, which I did poorly, is don't lie about it. That you should rap about being poor because, oh my god, you would not believe the amount of white kids that LARP doing that. There is a whole subgenre of white kids doing that. But I'm not, I don't speak on behalf again, but still. I do also think it's a product of the fans because people like it when you have these goals that you want to aspire to be. But once you reach those goals and have this success, people don't like it. You're the mainstream. You're the system. What the fuck, bro? You backstabbed us. And I think that a lot of artists kind of meet that fate. If they don't pivot with their writing, they kind of end up becoming out of touch in a way. That's not to say that they can't be congratulatory on their success. I think that a lot of people want to see people win. And that's not to say that people like Tyler the Creator have gone stale. Chromacopia went through a lot of his deeper topics. It was a great project. But I think as time and time went on, I can kind of see that JPEG Mafia doesn't really want to pivot. And that is perfectly valid from an artist's perspective. I think if you're content in a sound, you want to continue to experiment it more, that's great. But from the fans' perspective, I can definitely guarantee you that if you're stale, people will definitely call it out. I think this AOTY review kind of puts my feelings about the album into one sentence. There are probably a million reasons why I do not like this project, to the fact that he flanderized himself, or that it's almost like Kanye with his Bully album, in that it's kind of a remnant of his past projects. Like, until he continues to make something that actually speaks to the experimental rap genre, I think that people are right in saying that this is probably his most mainstream project ever. It feels more like a product than an actual statement being said. And I'm kind of sad. I'm a little bit sad to see that. But, I think the natural remedy to that is to explore other artists. I've been delving into other genres, hyperpop, but obviously some people will call me out for that. So, I've also been delving into like more niche genres. I've been trying to get involved in my local scene, and there are a lot of bands in New Jersey. So I'd say don't get too caught up on one artist in particular. It's okay to, I don't know. I think it's awesome to love an artist, but as time progresses, your identity is going to shift as well as the artist. So you always want to keep your options open here. But yeah, that's just my discussion. It's just JPEG Mafia is an artist that I looked up to production wise for a while, and then I don't know, he just kind of became lame to me. But I figured because I do care, I figured I'd make a video about it. Well, I hope you liked it. I don't think I'm gonna make this public, but if I do, yeah, it's but yeah, it's Evelyn, and see you in the next video.